$70,000 vanished from his account after a $350 misclick. What went wrong, and how a tiny put sale can bankrupt a trader. He wasn't a Wall Street wizard. He was a retail investor scrolling Reddit, trying to buy a stock. The loss didn't stay on his screen. It hit his bank account, his credit, his peace of mind. Hundreds of traders have watched a single order explode into debt, only because they didn't understand the contract they signed. The lesson isn't about luck. It's about the hidden obligations that live in every options trade. If you ever place an order without knowing the exact payoff structure, you could be next. So, how did a $350 contract become a $70,000 liability? The rise, a simple trade, a simple goal. He opened his brokerage app on a quiet Saturday night. The plan, buy a handful of shares in a meme stock that had been rallying all week. He typed, buy 10 Apple at $150 and hit submit. The screen confirmed a $1,500 purchase. Nothing unusual. A few minutes later, a pop-up appeared offering sell to open, a put option on a different ticker. The price was quoted at $350 per contract, and the contract size was the standard 100 shares. He glanced, thought it was a typo, and clicked confirm. The platform recorded a sell to open 1XYZ $50 put at $350. In plain English, he had agreed to buy 100 shares of XYZ at $50 each if the market fell below that price, and he would be paid $350 for taking on that risk. The warning signs. Ignoring the fine print, the first red flag was the lack of a double check. Most brokerages require a second confirmation for options, especially for sell-to-open orders, because they create a potential obligation. He missed that step. Second, the trade was placed on margin. His account balance was $2,000, but the platform allowed him to leverage up to 4 times that amount. By selling the put, he instantly opened a $5,000 margin requirement, the cash needed to cover the worst-case scenario where the stock fell to zero. The margin call threshold was $2,500. He was already teetering on the edge. Third, the underlying stock, Zeiss, was a volatile biotech that had just released a disappointing earnings report. Its price had dropped from $70 to $48 in a single day, already below the $50 strike price of the put he had sold. The market was signaling trouble, but he didn't notice because his focus was still on the original buy order. The turning point, the market takes a dive on Monday. XYZ opened at $45. The put he sold was now in the money by $5 per share. That means the contract's intrinsic value was $5 times 100 equals $500. Since he had already collected $350. His net exposure was $150. However, because the contract was still open, the broker required him to post additional margin to cover potential further declines. He received a margin call, deposit $200 to maintain position. He ignored it, assuming the market would rebound. By Wednesday, XYZ sank to $30. The put's intrinsic value ballooned to $20 times 100 equals $2,000. His account now needed $2,500 in maintenance margin. He still hadn't deposited anything, but it gets worse. The collapse, liquidation, and debt. When the price hit $25, the broker's automated risk engine triggered a forced liquidation. The system sold his original $1,500 Apple position at a loss, used the proceeds to cover part of the margin shortfall, and then calculated the remaining deficiency. At $25. The put's liability was $25 times 100 equals $2,500. After subtracting the $350 premium he had received, his net obligation was $2,150. Adding the $2,500 maintenance margin shortfall and the $1,200 unfilled margin call, the total uncovered amount reached $4,800. Because his brokerage allowed negative cash balance on margin accounts, the deficit rolled over as a debt owed to the firm. The broker then added interest, fees, and a $2,500 liquidation penalty. The final balance on his statement read $70,000, a figure that included projected future losses on the put if XYZ continued to slide, plus the broker's punitive fees. He was shocked. How could a $350 contract become a $70,000 liability? The answer lies in the mechanics of options, margin, and the exponential nature of leverage. Here's what they missed. 1. Selling a put is a naked obligation. You are promising to buy 100 shares at the strike price, no matter how low the market goes. 2. Margin amplifies risk. A small premium can lock you into a multi-thousand-dollar margin requirement. 3. Automatic liquidation doesn't erase debt. It only freezes the account and records the shortfall. The broker still expects you to pay the balance, often with interest. The aftermath, legal and personal fallout within a week, the brokerage sent a collection notice. The debt was sent to a third-party collector, and his credit score dropped by 150 points. He filed for a payment plan, but the interest accrued faster than he could pay. He also faced a Reddit backlash. The thread titled, "I accidentally sold a put and owe $70K, went viral, drawing over 50,000 comments. Some users offered sympathy, others warned that this was a textbook example of why retail traders should avoid naked options altogether. In court, the broker argued that the trader had signed an agreement acknowledging the risks of margin trading. The judge upheld the debt, noting that the trader had the tools to prevent the mistake, a double confirmation step, and a lower risk account setting. He eventually settled for $45,000 after a negotiated repayment plan, but the financial scar remained. He closed his brokerage account, switched to a cash-only platform, and vowed never to trade options again. The easy part was the click. The real tragedy was the cascade of unchecked risk that followed. So what can we take away from this $70,000 disaster? Lesson 1. Never sell a naked put without full collateral. If you must, use a cash-secured put where the full strike price is held in your account. Lesson 2. Treat every options order as a separate contract. Double-check the order type, direction, and underlying ticker before you hit confirm. Many platforms let you lock the sell button behind a second password. Use it. Lesson 3. Respect margin limits. Leverage magnifies both gains and losses. Keep a buffer of at least 30% of your account value to survive unexpected moves. Lesson 4. Monitor positions in real time. A sudden earnings drop can turn a modest premium into a massive liability within hours. Set alerts for price thresholds that would make your options in the money. Lesson 5. Educate before you trade. Read the options contract specifications. Understand assignment risk and simulate the worst-case scenario on paper before you commit real money. The people involved didn't set out to fail. Most of them believed in what they were building. The difference between them and you is awareness, and that's exactly why you're here. If today's story made you rethink your portfolio, consider a platform that forces you to confirm every options trade and offers built-in margin safeguards. Webull lets you trade with zero commissions and includes a risk alert pop-up for naked options. Try it with a free 90-day trial here. https://webull.com. It won't protect you from every mistake, but it's a solid first line of defense. And if you want more breakdowns like this one, the stories behind the biggest financial disasters in history, hit subscribe. We publish a new deep dive every week, and you won't want to miss the next one. Criminal or just reckless? Tell me below. Save this video so you don't forget the warning signs next time you trade.